Hi. Have you ever had a past life memory when you were out in the world? Maybe it was some place you went to visit, or maybe it was what we often call deja vu. But you had a feeling or an image. It might have been a real flashback, or it might just be that kind of weird feeling like, oh, that's really creepy. I think I've been here before. Something has happened to me here before. Well, I had that experience 5 years ago, 35, 36 years ago. And it was fascinating because I went back and wanted to re-experience or validate that experience that I had 35 years ago. So I was down in the Yucatan in Mexico, and that's where a lot of the great pyramids are: Chichen Itza, Uxmal, Coba, Tulum. All of these are Mayan ruins. And so I had been there 35 years ago, and it was amazing really back then because there weren't very many people there. It wasn't crowded at all. And my friends had walked down this dirt road to the cenote. Now, a cenote is a fresh underwater kind of well, but it's usually a very big hole in the ground. And when you're in the Yucatan, they're everywhere, and you can go swim in them. And they're can be beautiful with lots of caves, and they connect from one cenote to the other. But occasionally, the cenotes were used for sacrifice. And so I'm following my friends. They had already gone down this road to the cenote, and I start walking down the road, and my eyes close in. I'm starting to pass out. So I just sit down on the ground. I stick my head between my knees until, I'm okay again. And I feel fine. And so I stand up and I start to walk down this dirt road again to the cenote. Same thing happens. I start to black out. I sit down really fast. I don't really want to pass out. There's nobody with me. All my friends have long gone 10 minutes ahead of me down to the cenote. And so I sit there with my head between my knees until, again, I'm fine. So this is a shady road. I'm not in the beating sun. So I'm like, okay, one more time. Third time's a charm, right? And so I start walking down the road, and third time I start to black out. And for me, it's like all these dots that are closing in around my eyes. And so I have enough of a chance to sit down without just totally blacking out. So after that, when I came to, I thought, all right, I'm not trying that again. I stood up. I walked back to the main pyramid in Chichen Itza. I was totally fine. I could walk that way, but not towards the cenote. So my feeling, my vague memory was that I had died in that cenote, that I had actually been sacrificed in that cenote. But the interesting thing is, this 35 years ago, I was spiritual, but not that spiritual. I didn't go back and research a bunch of these things. I didn't ever particularly think about it again. And so here it is, 35 years later, and I've been back to the Yucatan 3 other times and never been back to Chichen Itza. I've been to Coba once and to Tulum once. And so this time I said to my husband, I really want to go to Chichen Itza. I was just in Egypt a few months ago, and I love to go back to Chichen Itza. I feel like I'm remembering or reclaiming old energy and even moving energetic codes around the world. And I have a plan to go to the Bosnian pyramids in Bosnia in the spring, this next spring. So that's been my plan. And I went to Chichen Itza, and it was beautiful, of course. And I walked down the road to the cenote with no adverse effects, no passing out, no memories particularly. But I'm down there with my husband and a guide. We had hired a guide because I love to hear the history that people have, these people have really studied to be, to guide us through with the ancient information wisdom about this specific site. So he pulls up his iPad and is showing us a couple of different photos. And there's a photo of a woman being pushed into the cenote and kind of falling into the cenote. And I thought, oh my God, that was me, or that was, I was one of those people. And he showed us a picture of this equipment that a gentleman started digging out the cenotes with, I think back in the 1800s. It's a long time ago. But he had a photograph of all of the jewelry, because these women were wearing all this turquoise and gold jewelry, and all of the jewelry and skulls and bones and, femurs and all parts of the body, all of the skeletons that they have dredged out of the bottom of this particular cenote that was just down the road from Chichen Itza. So it was fascinating, because when I had this experience 35 years ago, I thought, oh, who knows? Maybe that's just like a story, and that's not true. Maybe they never really did sacrifice people into that cenote. Maybe I'm remembering something that's not even real. So it was very fascinating for me this time to get that confirmation, to have that confirmation of the photos and artistic drawings that our guide showed to us. So if you have a past life experience, memory, deja vu, maybe check it out. Go Google it. Look a little further. See if you can validate yourself. Because I think it's helpful for us to really remember how ancient we truly are, how many lives we've had, how many different types of experiences we've had on this beautiful blue-green planet, our beautiful Gaia. And so enjoy researching, and I'm a big fan of not ignoring our intuitive hits, even if it's mostly a feeling. That feeling like I just could not walk down that road was pretty wild, and it's very validating to have that confirmed 35 years later. Okay, bye for now.